Hi, I am Unchakwa and today I'll be taking you through the convergence of a geometric series. Of geometric sequence. The convergence of geometric sequence. And then the equation that we have for the geometric sequence is equals to S infinity, which is the sum of the infinity. It's equals to A divided by 1 minus R. But then we also have condition with this equation that our R should never be less than 1 and our R should always be, less than R, and our R should always be greater than -1. Then if our R is equals to 1, we can't use this equation because the answer will be undefined. And if our R again, our R should always be less than 1 and our R should always be greater than -1. So is the answer between the two. It should be between -1 and 1. Alright guys, let's just look at a quick example of this. The example says that we must find the sum of infinity of the geometric sequence with the first term is equals to 3, our first term, and our common ratio is equals to 1/2. Then to find the sum of infinity, our A is equals to 3. We just substitute this into the equation, then it will be 3 divided by 1/2, of which this will be 3 divided by 1 multiplied by 2 divided by 1, which will give us 6. Then that was it. We got our sum of the infinity is equals to 6. Remember, our equation is sum of infinity is equals to A divided by 1 minus R, of which our R should always be less than 1 and our R should always be greater than -1. Then our A, we are given in the question, we are given A is equals to 3 and our R, our common ratio, is equals to 1/2. Then to find the sum of infinity, we just substitute A and R into the equation and we got 6. Alright, let's do another example. Let me write this here. The equation for the sum of infinity is equals to, the sum of infinity is equals to A divided by 1 minus R, and our R should always be less than 1 and our R should always be greater than -1. Then another example is say that we must find the sum of infinity of the geometric sequence, of which our sum of infinity is equals to 4 times our first term. Our sum of infinity is equals to 4 times our first term. Then the question says we must find the common ratio R. We must find R. Remember, our equation here for sum of infinity is equals to A divided by 1 minus 3, of which in this case we are told that our sum of infinity is equals to 4 times the sum is 4 times the first term. Then instead of sum of infinity, we replace it with 4A, which is the 4 times A, which is the first term. It's equals to A, which is our first term, divided by 1 minus 3, minus R, I mean to say. Then from here, we can actually multiply out, which is 4A into 1 minus R. We just cross multiply here. This is divided by 1. Remember, cross multiply is equals to A on the other side. Then here it will be 4A minus 4AR is equals to A. Alright, and then from there we can group the like terms, which will be, let me just make space here. It will be 4A minus A is equals to 4AR. Then from here we are left with 3a is equals to 4ar. The a here, they can cancel out because they are common on both sides of the equal sign. Then we are now left with 3 is equals to 4r. To find our common ratio, we divide throughout by 4 and our common ratio will be 3/4. A quick recap on the question. Our standard equation for the sum of infinity is equals to sum of infinity is equals to a divided by 1 minus r, of which our r, the conditional our r, should always be less than 1 and greater than -1. Then from there, the question that we have, it says we must find the common ratio, and the only information that we have is that the sum of the sequence is 4 times the value of the first term. Then we substitute, instead of the sum of infinity, we substitute with the value of 4 multiplied by the value of the first term. We don't have the value of the first term, so we just say 4a and equals to a divided by 1 minus r. And then we do a cross multiplication there to find 4a into 1 minus r is equals to a. We now left with this equation after multiplying out into the brackets, and then going to the next step, we now group the like terms, of which 4a minus a is equals to 4ar. Then now here 4a minus 8 will be 3a is equals to 4ar. And looking at that, a is common on both sides of the equal sign. That means that the a, it can now cancel out. Then we cancel out the a. We are left with 3 is equals to 4r, and our r is equals to 3/4 after dividing both sides by 4. I hope you guys understood everything from this lesson. If you didn't, or if you have any comment, then you can drop it in the comment note and we'll have a follow-up on it. And remember to subscribe to Math XYZ so that you can get daily notification when we upload videos. Thank you.